That body, mind, intellect should go together. Therefore, whenever you are doing something, it should be 100%. So you karo. Even if you are now in the group, make it 100%. Then you will enjoy. The half hour heart attack and अभी मेरे को जाने का है, क्या करने का है. Any small thing also, even if you sit for chanting, meditation, arti, small things, and if you have kept something after that, then that just becomes a mechanical thing which you are doing. Huh? And that's what she said. She told me, I agree. Now also at the age of 96, she sits for 3 hours meditation.
Wow.
And, and she had met Bhagat Singh's mother. She has his original photos. And 96 met many saints also. But then what she said that even if today, if I for some reason alarm rings and I don't get up, and that time I miss my meditation, and the entire day goes in a state of restlessness. Even at this age, I say this is not the right thing. Balance also inwardly, so that even if one day I miss the Lord's wish, okay, I move forward. आपल्याला ते खंत राहतं ना, खंत she was the use word she was खंत. खंत is what in English? Repentance, not repentance. Repentance is somewhat repentance. अरे मेरा फोटो ये गया है क्या? और वीडियो गया है?
Yes, sir.
मालूम नहीं, I don't know.
And see your video.
क्यों क्या होता? I don't know. Anyway, not my fault. राजू का भी गया है. So maybe network issues are there. So then, how to you have to restart or what? Ravi? Or it automatically happens?
आना चाहिए ऑटोमेटिकली.
Yeah.
एक बार रिजॉइन करोगे क्या?
नहीं, एक मिनट रुका. आ रहा है क्या?
नहीं सर.
नहीं.
अच्छा, रिजॉइन करूँ क्या?
हाँ, रिजॉइन करो. हाँ, रिजॉइन करोगे.
नहीं आ रहा है. आ रहा नहीं, आई डोंट नो सोचूंगा. Anyway, नहीं तो नहीं, क्या फर्क है? चल, कोई फर्क नहीं करता. आएगा तो आएगा. I'll see. Okay. I don't know. There's some problem. निष्का, even Raju का भी गया है, रवि का भी गया. So we'll start today's this thing.
Okay.
Section 3, definitions of love divine.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Alakshanaani vachante nana matbhedat. Who's going to read today?
आज राजू के पास
Gita, you have a book? Gita, you have a book? Read then.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Definitions of love divine. In diverse ways are described its marks. A deep love, devotion is for worship and so on. The son of Parasara said, a love, devotion is for hearing his sports. Thus, Garga described a revealing in self, continuous and unbroken. So, Sandilya proclaimed. Narada, however, said love is surrender of all actions to him, and extreme anguish in the forgetfulness of him. Thus and thus, let them be so. Love is to be like the love of Vraja Gopis. Even there.
कौन सा पढ़ रहे? मैं डर गया.
Summary पढ़ रहे.
फर्स्ट पेज.
अच्छा, फर्स्ट पढ़ रहे हैं. हाँ, sorry. Read.
Okay. Love is to be like the love of Vraja Gopis. Even there exists not the bane of forgetfulness of the glory that is his, or else it is like that of paramour, in which sure one feels not happiness in the joy of the other.
Right. Let's start. We have discussed this earlier, that's why I'm not taking. Definitions of love divine.
Continue, sir.
Yeah. Yes.
Talakshanaani vachyante nana matbhedat.
Perfect.
Its bhakti's characteristics are being described in words due to the existence of different opinions. Now we proceed to state the various definitions of love divine according to the different school of thought. We are now taking up a discussion in this section on some of the definitions of bhakti. The sages have defined devotion as ever so many different ways, the main characteristics remaining ever the same. Each teacher comes to emphasize one or the other of its different aspects in his declared definition. Got many apparently different definitions. After giving out different opinions of the different sages, Devarshi Narad himself filled everywhere, and each sage emphasizes one or the other of these factors more empathetically in their definition of the love divine. That is how we have a crop of different definitions. To study them all is to gather a fuller understanding of love in all its beauty and glory, in all its inflections and cadence.
Right. Okay. Before it, Ravi, I think I should just quit and again join it. I suppose. Let me try that one.
ओके सर या
How to do that? How to do that?
लीव मीटिंग है इसमें देखो
Leave the meeting, sir.
लीव कॉल
Where is it?
रेड
इधर
बटन
है,
है
इधर।
टेलीफोन का
इसका
एक लीव कॉल करके बटन है रेड बटन
The Lord of his heart through all his available equipments for practice. That is sadhana.
Hmm.
They are the equipments of body, speech, and mind. Through the sense organs of perception and through the organs of action along with the mind, must the seeker raise himself towards the higher realms of his
Yes.
deeper and diviner nature. That is the self.
Yeah. See what happens initially when we have started from our teens in our childhood. We start doing our puja. Okay, how do we do? Initially, 2 3 days, 4 days when a parents tell, we do it with sincerity. Everything is there. But the stage comes when the puja ऐसा लेते सबको एक साथ में ये करते हैं, खत्म हो गया पूजा. Just like a mechanical, we are doing something and we are just finishing off. There is no devotion, no nothing involved. Here it says, whatever you do, went to the Lord, do it with absolute devotion and firm faith. Like it is said in the Bhagavata also and the Shastras also, Pratima is photo, altar, murti, whatever it is. The Lord itself is the Lord Himself. Pratima or that idol is that Lord Himself or herself. Like when someone went to Ramakrishna Paramos with Rama's idol, unfortunately one of his hands was broken. So he said, should we go and immerse that idol in the sea? He said, if your son has a fractured hand, would you go and burn him? No, no. Similarly, that the Lord Himself says, just repair it and keep it. Nothing happens because when you are putting your entire devotion unto that idol also becomes, the form of the Lord Himself. That's why. What is the difference between the Balaji and Prati Balaji or Shirdi, Prati Shirdi? What happens there? In Shirdi, it's the same idol is there both ways. But in Shirdi, that is we say that is more jagrut. We get our prayers are fulfilled. Or if you go to Tirupati Balaji or any temple for that matter, why that temple, those idols and the idols which are at home, what is the difference? That in that all has put their bhava or that emotions onto the altar, and what happens because of those vibrations, that particular when we enter the temple, we get we get a feeling of those vibrations are felt, and we think that as though the Lord is sitting in front of us, right? Therefore it says when you are doing your devotion, also in the devotion, um, when we do it with deep love and ardent attachment or to the love, that is bhakti. Okay. Meaning to say, when you do anything to the Lord, your japa, dhyana, puja, bhajan, don't do it with just mechanical mechanical, what to say, attitude. Huh? Like once someone went to a Mahatma and he says, देखो मेरे बच्चे लोग कैसे गाते हैं. Huh? And there was one singer who he said how much time, the both were singing very nicely. So how many hours do you, this children, small children were there, how many hours do they practice? Where they practice, they hardly practice for half an hour. And how much, sir, how much do you practice? I practice minimum 8 hours, sometimes even 10 hours. Then still how both are the music or the song sung by both are equally effective. He says because when those children are singing, their attitude, their bhava in their heart is that they are offering it to the Lord, and when the Lord resides in the heart, that itself becomes a divine offering or singing. Bhajan gaate samay, therefore that second point is stress was, when you're singing bhajan, don't try to sing bhajan to impress somebody. हाँ, किसको भी impress कर, if you want to sing a bhajan, try to sing it for to the Lord, for the Lord to be pleased, not for somebody else. लोग क्या, लोगों को क्या करने का, that was the thing. Therefore whatever you do, whenever you are doing anything, it should be done out of love and devotion and affection. Then whatever you do, it becomes bhakti. Whether you are walking, talking, we have discussed that earlier also. Then every act of us becomes an offering unto the Lord. Okay, continue.
Worship is an act.
हाँ, pardon, anything to say, राजू, क्या बोल रहे हैं?
So in Marathi, they say, no, Dandamara also used to say, Bhavatochi Deva.
जया मनी जैसा भाव तया जैसा अनुभव. जया मनी जैसा how your भाव तो जिस देव से ना. If you see, therefore that in US they have started a new concept. They are keeping stones in the houses, some stone, and they tell everything to the stone. What else is it? We are keeping the Lord Krishna here. क्या दूसरा क्या फर्क है? And this psychologists are saying that if you keep that stone, black stone, I don't know what some name they gave. If you keep that stone and tell everything, your house will be a happy house, and then you'll be relieved of all the stresses, strains. Our scriptures are already told that. And if we, instead of a stone, we keep a divine, divinity is there. That divinity enters. No? And Gurudev told a very nice thing. If a person who is on this path can never be lonely, because the Lord is always with him. A person can never be alone. Always remember, if you can be with him at all times, try. Then if you are feeling lonely at times, think for yourself that something is wrong with me. If you take the Lord everywhere, wherever you go, if there's a speck of second in the marketplace, if the Lord is there, you'll be at a different state of mind. आपके साथ भगवान है ना, he is there with us. How can you say that he is not there? Really, it is a our problem with the mind. We think everything is there. We think of all the bad things. If the cat goes, that something will happen. If the rat goes, something will happen. And all superstitious things, we have a firm belief. And then our tragedy is that we don't believe in the divinity. When saints and sages are saying he is there with you, with you, in and around you, taking care of you, why can't you believe him or them? Guru used to say, you just close your eyes and I am there. Have you ever tried that? Have you tried it? Just close your eyes and I am always there to help you out. Like that time, that japa quotation was there. You just start a japa, the rest I will take care of. Start to karo na. How much time you got in corona time? कुछ किया नहीं, लेकिन खाली कोरोना रोते बैठे. How to take care of the body? How to take care of the body? हाथ धो, पैर धो, मुंह धो, what, yeah, फरसी धो, सब धोने का खाली. वो आया तो ये धो, क्या क्या, what all nonsense we did, but भगवान को भूल गए. असं नाही वाटलं की अरे आता सुट्टी आहे, काय बाहेर जात आहेत नाही, रोज 1,108 वेळा रामरक्षा म्हणून चुकून तरी वाटलं का? काय नाही वाटलं. कशाला वाटलं? टीव्ही बघायचं, विल सी वॉट द टीव्ही, टाइमपास करेंगे, कार्ड्स खेलेंगे, ऑनलाइन कुछ तो भी करेंगे. What happens? God gives us opportunities, but we fail to make use of it. We get so much time in the day, don't we? And how much you do is immaterial. I did japa for 3 hours, but doing japa for 10 minutes with ardent devotion and full devotion with love, when you do that, it is more effective. करो ना, start doing sometime. It's high time ना, कभी तो शुरू करना तो चाहिए ना. कितने दिन करेंगे? How much time? how much, I mean, do you know how much we are going to live? कुछ मालूम नहीं है, तो भी अपना ऐसे चल रहा है यार. That is bad. So for the Parashar says that whenever you're doing, whatever you're doing with all your equipments, do it wholeheartedly. That's all in short. Okay, continue. Worship.
Worship is an act. Worship is an act wherein the organs of perception and action and the mind are brought together to play at the altar of His glory. The seeker gets his inspiration from the contemplation of His beauty, love, and grace. When a mind dancing peacefully in love through a set of sense organs that perceive nothing but the Lord's beauty and presence expresses its surging love through the organs of action, they in their totality become true worship. That is puja.
है ना? See, if you do everything as an offer to the Lord, small things also when you do, they become puja. For example, when Gurudev, we used to write letters to Gurudev. Gurudev was so particular that the stamp had to be stuck on the right corner in the top. इधर उधर हुआ तो भी he used to make that person who was doing the seva remove it and put it affix it properly. He used to write in his own handwriting the addresses and names, and he used to get up at 3 o'clock and do everything. And piles of letters were there. ऐसा नहीं कि एक दो. And every each letter had some special remark or a special advice for that the person who wrote the letter. Like for me, he wrote, with deep meditation, there is nothing that you cannot conquer with deep meditation. The meaning to say that you can conquer anything, only you meditate deeply and you can get whatever you want. So everything, whatever they do is a puja. If that same attitude is brought in our life, that whenever we are doing what is it, our daily work, our nitya naimitya karma, if you have that attitude that I am doing is at an offering to the Lord, and if you install the Lord in your heart, everything becomes simple. Problem क्या है कि we are not able to do that. भगवान को अंदर रखने कोई प्रॉब्लम है, करो ना, keep him inside you. In fact, the Mahatma says, God is not inside you, you are inside God. हमको मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग हुआ है कि आई एम इन द गॉड इज इन मी, गॉड इज all that is all the fake. In the real fact is you are in God. And it is difficult to conceive, but if you think it's real, that is the real fact. And इसको दे लेंगे. And once if you reach that state na, once what happens that it is you are unable to explain it. You are unable to even think of it because you are going beyond the mind and intellect. Body is of course there. You are going your body mind. And in that stage, at least a speck of that, if you get it, your life is fulfilled. To know the taste of sugar, how much time you take. One crystal you put on your tongue, that very moment you understand that this is the taste of sugar. Similarly, once in that state, one moment, fraction of a moment, utna bhi aayega that is more than this thing. Therefore, what Gurudev says that whatever you are doing, when you are doing something, do it out of inspiration and offering to the Lord. When you keep your goals higher, automatically the things which you are doing becomes a worship at its feet. Set yourself a goal. But yeah, and do you offer that to that higher ideal? Then what happens? Whatever we are doing, it becomes automatically an offering to the Lord, and that thing becomes perfect. And for example, if a sculpture is there, he sees a stone, we don't see anything. And what he does, he just removes everything and from it, and he's so much engrossed in it. 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, he's not. Yeah, and when that statue comes out of that stone, he gets that joy. Our life is similar. We should try to get joy in whatever we are doing. Our office, रोज क्या बोर है यार, ऑफिस से खाली पैसा मिलता है लेकिन सब इतना बोर का काम है ना, आई एम गेटिंग बोर्ड ऑफ इट. दिन रात वही करने का. अरे बट ट्राई टू फाइंड, सी it is not, I can't explain everything. You use yourself to find a way out so that you can get joy of what you are doing. happiness. Everything we are doing for happiness. And what we are doing we are trying to prolong our thing, that I will do japa, I will do meditation, and then get happiness. Nothing happens in the future, everything happens in the present. Always remember, abhi nahi hua to kabhi nahi hoga. If you cannot do anything at this present juncture, you will not be able to do anything. Always remember की आता मी जपायला बसल्यानंतर मला आता आनंद आला नाही. Say I am saying Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. If I am not going to get joy now, how can I get it later? नंतर बघू. आता मी जप केलं ना, आता वैसे नाही होता रे. That's why he says that when you are putting in your thing, what all your faculties, which faculties? All your sense organs, your pancha jnanendriya, pancha karmendriya, if you are, all are devoted to that, automatically whatever you do becomes a puja unto his feet. Okay.
Sir, so there is one shloka where it mentions that what flowers should be offered to the Lord. So first flower, it says that ahimsa pratamam pushpam, which is non-violence. Pushpam indriya nigraham, control over senses. Then sarva bhuta daya pushpam, with compassion to all living things. Then shama pushpam visheshtaha, forgiveness is the important flower. Then dhyana, dana, yoga pushpam. So means meditation, philanthropy and yoga. Then satyam ashtavidam pushpam means truth. And vishnum prasidim karet, offer these eternal flowers to the Lord, which will never fade away. So these flowers we should offer it to the Lord.
So nice. So nice. In which it is given?
So ये मैंने कहीं तो पढ़ा था, तो फिर मैंने वो ये करके रखा था.
Nice. वापस बोल, 10 है. There are 10. Right.
Okay.
Ahimsa,
pushpam indriya nigraham, control over senses. Then sarva bhuta daya pushpam. Then shama pushpam visheshtaha, forgiveness. Then dhyana, dana, yoga.
Dhyan is meditation, dhan is charity.
And yoga.
And yoga is yunyate, whatever. Not this yoga.
Yes.
वो yoga नहीं. Yoga is yunyate.
Then satyam ashtavidam means truth. Satyam. Vishnum prasidam karet means we are offering this to Vishnu. These flowers will never fade away.
Right. Super.
Yes, sir.
Very nice. That's not. See, कैसा मालूम क्या? Once you follow the importance of this, na, whatever you do, it will be a unique thing in your way to offer to the Lord, and that will be the part towards the Lord. Just offer ourselves to at His feet, सब हो जाता है. अब तो problem क्या? He is waiting, but we are not letting ourselves happen and surrendering ourselves to Him. Surrender and miracles will happen. Try doing that. आप मेरे वैसे कुछ होता नहीं, आप जो करना है आप ही करो. See how things will happen. You just see. He takes care of each and every jiva. सगळ्या जीवांचा करतो सांभाळ, तुझं मोकलीला असं नाही. He is taking care of even the, like in Ramdas Swami's charitra, it comes that there was a stone, and in that stone the Shivaji had gotten थोडा अहंकार आ गया था. अरे आम्ही सगळ्या लोकांचं पालन पोषण करतोय, तर माझं तर म्हणे हा दगड ना शिव तोड म्हणे ह्याला. He called his that someone was there, soldier. He told break it. When he broke it, there was some water in that stone, and out of that water a frog jumped out. है ना, म्हणे या बेडकाचा पण तू सांभाळ करतो का रे शिवबा. That time he came to know that it is not, I am not doing anything, he is doing everything. If that Lord is taking care of so much, minutest creature, He will not take care of us. He is taking care. He's all. That's why we are there. But we failed. We failed to show our gratitude. कभी तो बोलते का थँक्यू म्हणते ना, ज्याने नथ दिलं त्याला 10 वेळा थँक्यू म्हणतो. अरे वा, नथ दिलं, अंगठी दिली. अरे पण जे नाक दिलं, तुला बोट दिलं, त्याला कधी थँक्यू म्हणाले का? बाबा आपने इतना दिया, अच्छा है, गुड बॉडी, एकदम थैंक यू गॉड, यू आर टेकिंग केयर ऑफ मी. कभी तो ये बोलो ना. So basically try to establish a relation between you and the Lord, bring him closer, closer, closer to you. Everything will happen simply, easily. Till the time you're saying आकाशातला बाप तर बाप आकाशात राहतो आणि तुम्ही इथंच राहता. लॉर्ड इन द हेवन, द लॉर्ड इन द हेवन. क्रिश्चियनिटी बोलते लॉर्ड इन द हेवन, लॉर्ड इन द हेवन. ऊपर देखेंगे, ऊपर कुछ नहीं है. हाउ कैन आई, व्हाट आर यू? द लॉर्ड इन द हेवन, वेयर आर यू? And so said, slowly everything will happen. Okay, continue.
To conscript thus all our faculties, powers, and emotions to adore and invoke the Lord of the universe is the true act of worship.
Huh.
To be ever engaged in this enchanting occupation of involving Paramasevara with all aspects in one's own personality is the right way of all true devotion. Thus, significantly insists Shri Vedavyasa, the very compiler of the Vedas, the first propounder of the Advaita philosophy and the author of the Puranas. However complicated the ritual may be, worship in all religions is an elaborate method of enchanting all the sense organs of the worshipper to a single selected altar and invoking in the devotee's mind a flood of devotion for the Lord. The lights and beauty of the altar, the fragrance of the incense, the enchanting music in the hymns and organs employed, the clean, cool atmosphere, and the lingering taste of the tirtham thus compel the attention of all sense organs and arrest them at the sacred altar. The words of the chants and hymns, the prayers, the attitude of surrender and faith bring into the mind of the worshipper a world of love for the Lord, that is Bhakti. Keeping this idea in the mind, where Vyasa insists that devotion is attachment to puja, that is worship of the Lord.
बोलो, आप क्या बोलोगे? किसी को एक्सप्लेन करने ऐसा नहीं. चलते राजू, विजय.
All minute things he has ensured how we become concentrated on the Lord.
Right.
And it involves all sense organs.
एक बोलो, दोनों साथ में. विजय बोलो. विजय.
So I'm just saying that it's involving all sense organs. What we see, the beauty, the hymns that we hear or we chant that we hear. Sorry, you're hearing some background.
I'm not. I'm only hearing background.
Raju, continue. Children are playing down. So.
Okay. बोल राजू.
So since we are human beings and we have all the five sense organs, so that becomes more dangerous for us. Like we have seen examples which you had given us during our Bhagavad days and study groups. Like even a small honeybee, for that matter, it has only a sense of the smell that it wants, and just because of that, it gets doomed. Whereas we have all the five sense organs, and then we have to be smart enough in using these sense organs with respect to taking it ahead, and that is where Vyasa says that devotion and attachment to puja is very important.
So you remember the Abhanga? We should tell you. घे माझे वाचे गोड नाम विठोबाचे. तुम्ही डोळ्या तुम्ही घ्या रे सुख, पहा राघोबाचे मुख. तुम्ही ऐका रे कान माझ्या विठोबाचे गाणं. है ना? And then what? Oh, I forgot the last two. तुका म्हणे विठो भरला सब नाही. I forgot the last. घे माझे वाचे.
हाँ सर, सुना है. अच्छा अभंग है वो, सुना है.
अभंग है, अच्छा है, लेकिन उसका वर्ड्स क्या है? बुढ़ा हो गया, भूल गया मैं. जान दे, जो आया याद कितना बोला, बाद में नहीं आता याद. अरे तुम स्टडी ग्रुप के बाद आएगा याद. बोलो. So then if you put all your 4-5 sense organs unto his name, therefore the puja is what we are creating an atmosphere. हाँ, incense stick लगाया, smell आया, अतीर्थ लगाया, taste आया, then decorating the Lord, eyes are involved. Then sparsha से you are doing, I mean, अभिषेक करते स्पर्श आ गए. स्पर्श, शब्द स्पर्श रूप रस गंध, everything is involved. When you are chanting, the शब्द is involved. तो सब आता है ना उसमें. So when you are offering all the five at that particular time, when if you are doing it wholeheartedly, you are doing all your five karmendriyas involved in this doing the puja. So your mind automatically becomes focused without you are doing any without much efforts. Whereas if you sit for meditation and try to think or try to contemplate, and try doing that, just close your eyes for a moment, one moment. Close. Now don't think of the broom. Think of anything else but the broom. You have to not think of the broom. Huh? I assure that you only thought of the broom and nothing else. है क्या नहीं? जो करना नहीं चाहिए बोलता वो आ जाता है. If I had not given that instruction वो आता ही नहीं था. लेकिन 90% ऑफ द टाइम मे बी फॉर फ्रैक्शन नहीं आ रहेगा, लेकिन 90% दैट अरे सर ने बोला ब्रूम के बारे में, किसके बारे में सोचने का नहीं, ब्रूम के बारे में क्या करने का नहीं, ऑटोमेटिक है ना. तो वैसे ही इफ यू गिव द आवर माइंड अ पॉजिटिव इंस्ट्रक्शन इन पूजा डूइंग चैंटिंग, इट विल टेक इट इजीली. अब ये करो मत, वो करो मत, नॉट टू स्पीक लाइज, not to think of anything else. Don't shake your body. It is difficult for this is in the initial stage. In this initial stage, doing puja is simpler. To get like in lower kg करते करते जाएंगे, you go higher. It is not that easy. I am not demeaning it. Puja is important, but I am just telling you the significance. Why we have to at least start from puja. Therefore, if you see. After 10 days when Ganesh Anant Chaturdashi comes, you see everyone crying when the Ganpati Visarjan is going to go happen. Why? Because they have been so attached and so happy, so much happiness they have got in the 10 days while doing all this, doing Aarti, Naivedya, Puja, then calling everybody, chanting. So puja is one first step towards the Lord. That says Parashar. Okay. And now they will come to the next one. Anyone wants to send one? Yeah,
So one thing that we should order in, I mean this is psychologically, when we say don't do something and after that don't, a negative things comes which we don't want to do, right? So instead of always saying don't in a sentence, you should replace it with a do. And when we tell children also, like don't touch, don't spend waste time in this, don't waste that. Rather we should promote them to do. Can you spend time in this? So when you order your mind, and even the kids, because they are just now evolving, the mind gets positively inclined to those thoughts which are pulling them to do something. Rather, when we ask, like you said, don't think about the broom, and we tend to get to closer to that picture of the broom. So don't is a word which attracts negatively, which is why they say that you should, like the substitution option that we give, that substitution is important than negation, because when you substitute with something higher, automatically the lower drops.
The lower falls down. Perfect. Always, that's why our Hinduism is still remaining after so many thousands and thousands of years, because in our scriptures we have always been given positive instruction, and nothing is negative here. Remember, you will go to hell. ऐसा बोला ही नहीं है किधर. I just remembered. Someone went to Gurudev and asked him, Gurudev, I have done so many sins. Will I go to hell? He said, no. He said, why? He said, you are already in hell. Because you are there in that, because you are already staying in that. Your mind is so much. See, anything wrong we do, for example, अभी गुस्सा आ गया. Suppose if it's something wrong, our conscience pricks us so much. That itself is hell, na? अरे करना नहीं चाहिए था, ये करना नहीं चाहिए था, ये करना. How can you do that? How can I pray to my sense organs? So bad, not good, no. That thing itself, your prickling of the conscience continuously itself is hell. So if that thing comes, then if you try to prolong it, some wrong things come, and then you go on a higher path by substituting the right things, automatically what will happen? The lower will fall off. See, think now. If you are going to get something high, what do you think of the lower? And even in the materialistic world, if you are going to get 1 lakh rupees, for 1 lakh का 10 लाख रुपए बोलने को क्या जाते हैं, वचनम किम दरिद्रता. You have to do, if you are going to get 1 crore rupees, 1 लाख में 10 लाख में 1 crore. Would you go and buy a lottery of 10,000 rupees? No. उसको कोई मतलब ही नहीं है. मेरे पास अब 1 लाख 1 करोड़ मिलने वाला है, 10,000 लेके करूँ क्या? Similarly, when you are going to get so much happiness, that is so much that it is invaluable. You are going to get that, इससे ये फालतू चीजें को छोड़ देंगे ना. So simple. Will not get attached. The problem that we till now we are, unfortunately, the importance of the Lord is not so much. It is there. I'm not saying it's not there. It's not so much rooted in us, and we are not so much convinced about it. That's why थोड़ा सा आ जाता है. But when you are going to, हाँ रमाकांत, you're saying something?
No, what you say is true. I'm just nodding my head.
Right. And so then that's what. If it comes to that, then slowly, everything will happen. Well, the first step towards the Lord is make yourselves available. बाकी छोड़ो सब. If you make yourselves available, He will come and enter. उसको थोड़ा chance तो दो ना. Let us give him a chance. कि आ जाओ भाई. हमको टाइम ही नहीं मिलता बैठने को. Don't say it. When you're doing, chant His name. अभी ऐसा नहीं कि you don't get time, you get time. But we fail to do what, because we are so much engrossed and engaged in this world, especially the Mumbai people. सुबह से लेकर ये लोकल वो लोकल ये करने का वो करने कुछ ना कुछ भी करने का रहता है. जो पण तर इतका प्रादुर्भाव असतो ना. I mean not criticizing, but I'm just my opinion. So much they are engrossed in all this materialistic thing that it is very difficult for them to get out of it. That is a vicious circle. Like इतने बजे उठो, इतना ये लोकल पकड़ो, उसके इधर जाओ, उधर से उधर आओ, उधर खाना खाओ, उधर से आओ, रात को देखो 7 से 8 बजे तक टीवी देखो, 8 बजे वापस कुछ करो, सो जाओ. तो उठ के ये चल रहा है चक्कर. साइकिल इज गोइंग ऑन कंटिन्यूअसली. और उसमें क्या, यू आर नॉट गेटिंग समथिंग आउट ऑफ इट.
So activity कर करके वो इतना habitual हो गया है कि people who are getting retired also, they cannot stay at home.
No.
They again try to find some other job or extend their retirement.
नहीं, वो ऐसे जाते हैं. तो टिकट के लोकल का पास है कि इधर से उधर जाते आते हैं. सबको मिलने अच्छा लगा, सबको मिल के बोल. It's such a, they're so much addicted. Therefore, if you see a person, I am not criticizing. Remember, ये कैसा है कि what happens, we are ourselves getting entangled in that cocoon, and then it's difficult for when it becomes hard. It is very difficult to break that. अपने cocoon में अपने ह्याच्यात आपण we are getting entangled in our own doings, and how are you going to get out of it? Therefore Karnataka, you remain aloof, like a witness. ठीक है, कर रहे, but no for sure. For example, my father when he retired on the 60th year, he said, till today I work for CID. From tomorrow also onwards, this is was for my what is that, livelihood. I'm not going to. The chief minister of Goa came, then home minister of Maharashtra came. Then they got so many other cases. He said, I have retired, I am no longer in this. ये हो गया, आप तो आपको जो करना है करो. Everyone requested, but he refused. He said, मेरा हो गया, I have something. And after that, he went for 28 times to Siddhabari, Himalayas, everywhere. But chalked out program ना. नहीं तो नहीं. So much firm you have to be. क्या करने का मालूम है. I see, the day you are going to join the job, you are going to retire. That is sure. है क्या नहीं? But अभी that till the time you retire, your children will become older, bigger. They will take a responsibility. How many years you are going to work? And then when are you going to give time for your own self? Till the time your limbs are working, your hands feet are doing good. That is the right time for us to go for spirituality, opt for spirituality, and see our progress, isn't it? कभी करेंगे नहीं तो. जब वो दोनों पर काम नहीं करते, कुछ नहीं करते, that time helpless philosophy is not good. Helpless spirituality is useless. Our spirituality and our devotion should be vibrant, lively. तो उसमें मजा है.
They are so it is true that we are all so engrossed in our daily routine that we know we get up at some time, go to work, come back. So even after
mechanic, it looks like a machine, living machines. Yes.
So then it becomes like a vacuum. We don't know in that time what to do.
अरे
So
संडे सैटरडे संडे में बोर होता है, भाई सैटरडे को अभी तो ठीक है, संडे को क्या करने का, व्हाट टू डू, ब्लैंक, व्हाट्सएप देखो, व्हाट्सएप का मैसेज फॉरवर्ड करो, कुछ तो भी करो, टाइम पास करो, इट बिकम्स दैट वे. एंड दैट थिंग दैट गैजेट इज सो, इट इज अ दुधारी शस्त्र है, it's a weapon. If you use it properly, you can cut vegetables and take I mean, make a prepare good a dish out of it. But if you pierce it, the person will die. Similarly, is that mobile thing. If you make use of it properly, it will help you. But if you become addict to it, then khalas, khatam ho gaya. There are people who don't I mean, take the mobile to in the toilet also. I mean, I've seen them personally. टॉयलेट में क्या मोबाइल लेके जाने का, एक किसका कॉल आएगा, अभी क्या कॉल लेके क्या फर्क कर रहा है, अभी तेरे को नेचर कॉल है वो करो ना, पहला कॉल के पीछे जा रहे कुछ भी यार फालतू. रियली हैव सीन पीपल टेकिंग मोबाइल इन द टॉयलेट. क्या करते हैं अब, न्यूज़पेपर इन द टॉयलेट, न्यूज़पेपर इन द टॉयलेट. भाई अभी आराम से जाओ ना, दैट टाइम इज मेंट फॉर यू. सिर्फ आराम देखो मिलता है, शांति से बैठो ना उधर, क्या करना. I mean, people, what they do is their problem. I'm not interested. But then our problem is what? If we are on this path, we should be able to take out some time and utilize it for the best of for ourselves. Okay. And therefore, this was puja. Now the next one thing is very interesting. Garga Rishika. Who's reading? Ravi.
तो राजू के पास भी बुक है अभी. राजू
राजू बुक है. राजू
हाँ सर, बुक है.
हाँ बोल पुढं कथा दिश्विती गर्ग.
कथा दिश्यन्ति गर्ग.
हाँ ये सबके लिए अच्छा है. एवरीवन लव दिस.
In the stories of the glories of the Lord,
हाँ
thus Maharshi Garga, a great attachment to listening to the stories of his glories and so on is bhakti, according to Maharshi Garga. Sage Garga, in his definition, emphasizes the importance of that technique in bhakti wherein the instrument of speech is mainly employed. The importance of the speech aspect of bhakti sadhana is firmly emphasized by the Maharshi in his definition. To listen to the stories of the Lord's divine play, divine play, to repeat them with joyous tears rolling down the cheeks, to other devotees who listen and get transported into a state of blissful self-forgetfulness, to sing his glories, to chant the songs of his love and infinite mercy. These are the methods by which one can employ the speech aspect of one's personality in seeking the Lord of the universe. Garga Maharishi emphasizes this aspect in his definition of devotion.
बस सुनो, ऐसे ये सबके लिए अच्छा लगता है सबको. बस भागवत की कथा सुनो, कृष्णा की लीला सुनो, बस मजा आता है उसमें. सुनो ऐसे कुछ करो ही मत, मजा है उसमें. And you love it also because our you know what, we are used to that, hearing stories, hearing leelas. But then when you see na Bhagavad and Krishna Leela, abhi bhi, even if you get whatever your age is, but once Bhagavad starts and the Krishna Leela comes, everyone, right from a child of 2 years to an old person of 88 years, all will enjoy. Because divinity itself has that power of attraction. Karshayati Krishna. That one who pulls or one who attracts is known as Krishna. त्या लीलामध्ये गंमत वाटते, मजा वाटते. Even if you have to, therefore what they say, that if you have to progress in spirituality, the easiest way is what? Very easiest way. To read the autobiographies of great persons. Autobiographies, lives. उसमें पढ़ो ना, रामकृष्ण परमहंस, विवेकानंद है, आर गुरुदेव इज देयर, एनीवन, शिरडी साई बाबा, गजानन महाराज, आपके को किसी का भी पढ़ो. What will you get from that? You will get some रमन महर्षि है, निसर्गदत्त महाराज है, तो कितने महात्मा है उनको. ये अपना वो दैट स्वामी राम तीर्थ. There are infinite Mahatmas. When you when you read their Paramahansa Yoganand, when you read the life sketches or life stories of them, you get inspiration out of it. And you enjoy, because our mind likes that. It's very easy to focus on stories and land to Rajya Sarpo. If there is that a rope, and on that rope the person sees a snake in it, actually it is a rope. And then when that knowledge comes, that it dwells that is similar in the world. या अभी ये पढ़ते बैठेंगे, सुनते बैठे तो कितना the person will go to sleep. But whereas when the same thing is given in the story form by Veda Vyasa Rishi in the Bhagavad, Mahabharata, you take so much interest in hearing. And it's just a tuning of the mind. It is according to each one of our mental uh, attitude or perception. कैसे लेते हैं हम क्या how our attitude is there. तो ये just steps. See what are this is what is this what are we doing? That first is the definition of bhakti. Then how are we going to go about how to love worship है पूजा है अभी कथा आने hear the glories of the Lord. These are different ways. आपको जो चूज करने का चूज करो. There are n number of doors to enter that the temple of divinity. आपका इंक्लिनेशन जिधर है वैसा करो बट करो ऐसा बोल रहे. आपको अच्छा लगता है भक्ति करो रामचरित मानस पढ़ो तो मजा है. इतना मजा आता है ना पढ़ने में. जस्ट ट्राई. अब मैंने अभी किया 30 डेज का अब वो 21 के डेज का 30 डेज किया पारायण. इतना मजा आया एक ज्यादा नहीं तो आधा 45 मिनट्स एवरी डे. बट देन सो मच जॉय यू गेट. कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं. अगर वो चैंटिंग विद दैट दोस वर्ड्स आर इन इटसेल्फ सो पावरफुल ना. हाउ डिड तुलसीदास थिंक ऑफ इट इज आइज अ मिरेकल. हाउ एक अपने को एक लाइन का टर्न नहीं जमता यार. वो पूरा 700 दोहे कैसे बनाए रहेंगे एक से एक लेके. तो मजा आता है कुछ भी. तो एनीथिंग यू शुड लर्न टू एंजॉय योरसेल्फ एटलीस्ट फॉरगेट योरसेल्फ फॉर दैट हाफ एन आवर 45 मिनट्स. चलो हम भूल गया पूरा संसार आहे नंतर आहेच आहे. अभी तो भगवान का नाम लेंगे मजा आहे उसमें. काहीतरी म्हणतो बिजू साईबाबाचा ग्रंथ का वाचायला सांगितला होता तुला त्यावेळेला. यू रिमेंबर सो मेनी इयर्स बॅक आय टोल्ड यू टू. आई स्टिल रिमेंबर. मालूम है याद है ना.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
तो वो वैसा ही है. यू स्लोली यू. अरे गुरुदेव के कितने आए बुक्स यार. गुरुदेव के कितने बुक्स है. सो मेनी बुक्स आर देयर. व्हाट इज दैट.
मननम सीरीज का he did it.
मनम सीरीज का है. जर्नी ऑफ
Journey of the
द
Master.
मास्टर है. कितने बुक्स है. यू कैन टेक एनी. सी immortal किसका लिखे ना. इफ यू रीड द लाइव्स ऑफ ग्रेट पीपल you learn from you get you enjoy also and you learn from it also. है ना. तो भागवत में कथा में उन्होंने क्या बोला है कि एक्सप्रेस when you are doing this bhakti you are singing also saying also seeing doing also and then you are forgetting yourself. अभी राम जन्माला सगळं तुम्ही बता what will do you decorate everything. कृष्ण जन्माला you decorate everything. नंतर रामाचा लग्नाच्या वेळेला हे करतील. नंतर राम अयोध्येत परत आले तेव्हा कसं करायचं. इन लोग दे इफ यू सी मोरारी बापू देन रमेश बाबूजा उनका तो 8-8 घंटे का रहता है राम कथा. हम आधा और people sit 2 to 3 lakh 4 lakh people from morning 9. I have sat personally when in 97-98 he started the lecture at I tell you 3 o'clock in the afternoon 3:30 and we got over in the night at 12:45. तभी तक हम हिले भी नहीं जगह में से. Not for this or this and that thing. We were sitting in that place only. So many hours. 8-9 घंटे कैसा क्या मालूम भी नहीं हुआ. You didn't follow also. तो भगवान की लीला इसमें इतने मजा है ना. You forget yourself. अपना अपना प्रॉब्लम क्या है. टाइम नहीं मिलता है. हम यार एनग्रॉसमेंट थोड़ा तो निकाल सकते हैं ना. आधा घंटा तो पढ़ने को क्या है. टेक अ ग्रंथ एटलीस्ट दिस एट 2-3 पेजेस रोज पढ़ेंगे. संस्कृत नहीं आता तो मराठी पढ़ेंगे. मराठी नहीं पढ़ते हिंदी पढ़ेंगे. इस तो भी कर सकते हैं ना. लिटिल फिर गो ऑन रीडिंग ना. उसका मजा आ जाता है रे. And we get a very otherwise what happens now, our mind gets bored doing the same and it becomes after a certain time it becomes a mechanical ritual which you are doing. For example, if you are chanting Ram Raksha, when I started I'm taking a personal experience. When I started doing Ram Raksha chanting, I was loving it. Okay, क्या मजा आने का. every stanza कितना every day. Now after how many months now, this April, this what month, after nearly 1 year, अभी वो बोलते तो मैकेनिकल होते तो मजा नहीं आता है उसमें. हाँ बोला ठीक है बट लास्ट ईयर बोलने में जो मजा आता है अप्रैल में वो ये अप्रैल में नहीं आता है. ये मार्च में 1 साल के बाद. क्यों. इट बिकम देयरफॉर न्यू स्तोत्र चैंटिंग भजन. व्हेन देयर इज अ वैरायटी आल्सो you get the happiness out of it. Right. ये हमारे लिए अभी लास्ट पैराग्राफ पढ़ के हम कंक्लूड करेंगे. रीड रमाकांत last paragraph. Who's reading? Raju is reading, na? Raju read, Raju. Earlier.
Earlier, Shri Narada had warned us that the various definitions are only the different amounts of emphasis laid by the different masters upon factors that constitute devotion. And each devotee finds a different way to express his devotion and revel in it. If to Vyasa, the physical aspect, the puja was important, to Sage Garga, it was the speech aspect, telling the stories, chanting the hymns, singing the glories, and so on, was apparently and the greatest importance in enhancing and expressing devotion.
दैट्स व्हाट आई एम टेलिंग ना. एक आदमी के लिए अकॉर्डिंग टू हिज इन नेचर वो उसको अच्छा लगता है ना. देखो ना, इफ कोई औरंगजेब करेगा उसको कितना भी गाना बजाएंगे उसको अच्छा लगेगा क्या? ये काय रे ठन 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 वाजवून बडबड करता का बसा. आणि उसका अगेंस्ट कोई हु लव्स म्यूजिक करेगा तो विल लव द भजन. एवरी इट डिफर्स फ्रॉम पर्सन टू पर्सन. कैसे किसका कैसा टेम्परामेंट है, आई कैन टेल दैट. एवरीवन हैज हिज ओन लाइकिंग or this. There are so many ways. Therefore, one he is giving us a few what is that, methods or means by which you can go closer to the Lord. The first one was with puja. अच्छा, अब हमारे को पूजा नहीं अच्छा लगता है, कभी बैठने का, पानी डालने का, क्या करने का बोर होता है. अगर पूजा नको तो एटलीस्ट नामस्मरण कर, चैंट समथिंग थ्रू योर माइंड एंड थ्रू योर माउथ. उसमें अच्छा मजा नहीं रहता. नहीं, उतना इतना नहीं मजा आता. तो अभी क्या करेंगे? अभी सैंडल उसी क्या बोलते नेक्स्ट टाइम देखिए. ओके, शँडिल्यच आहे पुढच्या वेळेला. मग काय बघूया नंतर. एनीवन हॅज टू से एनीथिंग? लेट्स कंक्लूड.
So this is similar to that Shravanam, Kirtanam, वो जो दास
वो
टाइप्स ऑफ भक्ती.
नवविधा भक्ती आहे. तसं पण करतात. दॅट इज ऑल्सो आय थिंक इट इज समवॉट सिमिलर, बट आई डोंट नो. आई हैव नॉट रेड द बुक, सो विल गो वन बाय वन. मैं भी तुम्हारे साथ ही है, मालूम नहीं. लेट्स कौन बोल रहा है? आई डोंट नो. आवाज बहुत है तेरे पीछे बैकग्राउंड.
बच्चे खेल रहे हैं सर.
अच्छा, फिर कोई दूसरा आगे बोलते. ओम सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरि ओम.
We stand as one family, bow to each other with love and respect. We serve as an army, courageous and disciplined, ever ready to fight against all low tendencies and false values within and without us. We live honestly, the noble life of sacrifice and service, producing more than what we consume and giving more than what we take. We seek the Lord's grace to keep us at the path of virtue, courage, and wisdom. We believe that the service of our country is the service of the Lord.
May thy grace and blessings.
May thy grace and blessings.
May thy grace and blessings flow through us to the world around us. We believe that the service of the country is the service of the Lord of Lords, and devotion to the people is the devotion to the Supreme Self. We know our responsibilities, give us the ability and courage to fulfill them. Om Tat Sat. Hari Om.
नेक्स्ट टाइम राजू वापस बोलने का प्लेज विदाउट एनी मिस्टेक.
Yes, sir.
चल आ जाओ. थोड़ा इंटरप्शन होगा लेकिन इवेंचुअली एवरीथिंग विल वेंट आउट. ओके.
हरिओम सर.
हरिओम.
हरि ओम.
हरि ओम.